Hey guys, Ivan here with getivan.com, and I'd like to welcome you to my article writing template or system. So let me blow this up here while I talk for a moment. I designed this for personal use, for internal use to my organization, and also with the expectation that in the future I might be able to uh, provide this as some sort of value to others as well. So, why have an article writing system in the first place? Well, it doesn't really take much writing before you realize that it is time consuming, right? It is a cumbersome task. And, if you're, and this is the reason why most of the writers that I've talked with in the past have been more interested in creative writing because you can kind of just yammer yammer or yippity yap, flim flam. You kind of just rant on page, and that's a lot easier for a lot of people than here we're writing about a specific topic. We need to do the research, and boom, 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 we need to go. Um, because when you have to do writing like that, that's thought intensive, then all of a sudden, it's easier to freeze up and go, okay, what do I want to say here? What's the best way to express this? And then, an hour goes by, 2 hours even, and you're sitting there going, well, was this even worth it? When you're doing a lot of different things, of course. So that's the reason I developed this, is because it occurred to me that rather than every time I'm sitting down writing something, particularly for money articles or static pages, high converting copyright, uh, we should be able to create a framework that we can adhere to make the system process faster. And that's how I started building this template, if you will. So speaking of money articles, I think there are three core types of articles. Of course, you might argue there are different flavors, but the first would be money article, the static page, the high converting copy, right? Second would be content curation. So where you're basically taking other people, you're quoting other people's content and you're just commenting on it in a post, right? And then the third would be blog posts or creative article writing, where you're really just, throwing out your thoughts on a topic. So the first is obviously much more structured, much more intentional in terms of conversion language, right? The second is really just piggybacking off of the authority of other people's content and then just kind of making comments. So in a way, it's in between. That's why I listed as number two, because you're using the authority of what other people have thought up, right? So it's kind of structured in that way. But the commentary is more creative. So it's kind of in between money and creative, right? And then third, purely creative, is just about giving your thoughts and feelings on a topic. So that is, I think it is easier to be creative and to just talk, right? And it's certainly easier to piggyback, but the most difficult thing is to create something well structured and well formed, right? And so that is kind of where I started in these templates that I've created. I don't even really have a template for creative writing because it's so self-explanatory, right? But this video is going to be about the money article writing template. So the most structured form of those three approaches. So let's dive in here and take a look at the framework. So first things first, I will determine what is my money keyword. What is this article really about when someone sees it in the search engine ranking positions, the SERPs, and they see that call to action or whatever, that clickbait or whatever. What is that clickbait, right? What am I putting there to try to get them to click through to satisfy their interest for whatever their query is, right? So for this example, I decided to just throw out bee control. Bee control would be a sub niche in the pest control greater niche, right? All these different creatures in pest control that are sub niches. And bee control, it's been a while since I've done any pest control keyword research, but last time I did it, I remember bee control had a high CPC, very kind of a specialized form of pest control, right, in a lot of places. So let's say I was going to do an article on bee control services for a local company, right? And so let's say my H1 for this article will be bee control services in such and such city, for example. Then from that point, I would want to create either a sales process for this page, or I would want to do other topics that are related to that H1. So all of the other keywords in my list here, what I would do is I would throw down bee control services here, for example, and then I would highlight the whole H1 and come in and add a comment. And in that comment, I would put all of the keywords. So keyword 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I use 5 keywords because with this model of 5 keywords, 5 sentences, 5 keywords, 1 paragraph per keyword, 5 sentences per paragraph, you can easily achieve about 300 words. And so if you're trying, and 300 is a good number. It's kind of a industry standard minimum article word count for an article. I think it's kind of I consider it the Goldilocks zone amount of, in the Goldilocks zone for ideal amount of content, So it's not too long, it's not too short, it's just right, I think, 300 words. And if you want to make your content more authoritative, you can simply add another paragraph to each section for each keyword. And if you do that, then you'll have 600 words. You do it again, you'll have 900 words. Do it again, you'll have 1,200 words, right? And so on and so forth. So I think it's a good model, and you can come up here to tools, go to word count in Google Docs, and you can see that it's about 330 words. So it's a pretty good thing. As you can see here in my flexible guidelines, I say about 12 words per sentence, 5 sentences per paragraph, 1 paragraph per keyword, and it reliably produces that many words. So I sent this to a prospective writer in the UK one time, a girl, and after all this vetting process, this was a while back, and as soon as she saw this, she immediately canceled the gig before she even asked me any questions, saying that it was too restrictive and, all this business. And, it's just one of those things about marketplaces out there. People you hire will often, promise you the moon, right? But then as soon as you start to pick them and give guidelines, then they'll kind of, if something is not exactly the way they want it, it's not uncommon that someone will just cancel without even asking any questions. It's a real pain. And so that's another topic for another time on hiring processes, right? But, it's just amazing to me that someone can take a look at this and think, well, I'm not going to write 12 words per sentence, 5 sentences per paragraph. And, that's really not the point. And it's kind of embarrassing / irritating that I have to even say that out loud. The point is they're guidelines. I'm not telling myself or a person that I want writing for me or you guys that you have to have 12 words per sentence, 5 sentences per paragraph, and that's magical and somehow that'll create some special thing for you. That's silly. The point is that it's supposed to be a scientific, quote unquote, writing method. It's supposed to create a testable, provable, repeatable result. So when you essentially adhere to the guidelines, you can dramatically speed up the process. So, for example, if I'm sitting down and I've got my keyword bee services in such and such place, so I would go by this criteria here at that point. Now that I have my keyword, or let's not do bee services. Let's say that bee control service. Let's say that the second keyword would be something like, what is bee control? And the third keyword could be something like bee control methods. And the fourth keyword could be bee control prices, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. Because these are different keywords that people are typing in, right? And so we want to, on this page, in a paragraph, essentially address some of these core points that are surrounding bee control services and extermination, right? So if I was doing, what did I say? What is bee control, for example? So then at that point, I would come over here I would kind of go between these two guidelines here. I would say sentence number 1, every sentence is going to answer some sort of question, or ask some sort of question, or answer some sort of question, right? And so this is essentially the method. You got your topic, then each sentence is laid out already for you, right? In the form of these questions and these guidelines. So what is bee control? Fortunately, sentence number 1, we can say, what is bee control? Well, bee control is blah, blah, or bee control is, bee control is blah, 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 right? Sentence number 2, who needs bee control and why? So this is, you could probably kind of gathered who, what, when, where, why, how. They call this I think it's the Rudyard Kipling system or something like that. It's like a 100-year-old writing system for writing quickly. So it's nothing new. But I adapted it to the number of keywords that I ideally like to use. And so I kind of reorganized them a little bit, did the what up here, who needs it and why, when is it needed, how will it benefit, and then a call to action. And you can express that call to action in a variety of ways. But sentence number 2 could be who needs it and why. So it could be bee control. People who need bee control are going to usually have residential or rural types of properties that have such and such landscape and such this, and for the purpose, and they will need bee control because of the kind of environment that their property is in, kind of idea. I know I'm a little disjointed in this explanation. I didn't premeditate this answer, so bear with me here. But you see what I'm saying, right? So who needs it and why? Sentence number 3, when is it needed? So because of your property type, you're going to need it if you start noticing a lot of swarming, and you're swarming in various places. If there's this problem or that problem, problems with children, problems with livestock perhaps, and whatever characteristics might accompany, a bee problem. I don't know what they would be, but that's what you would put when it's needed, right? How will it benefit? So this is getting a little easier, right? And that's going to benefit you because of this, and so bee control will benefit you. You don't want to say bee control in the beginning of every sentence, right? But at that point, you're going to explain how it's going to benefit them, right? And then sentence 5 is going to essentially be whatever this copy is for is going to be a good solution for you. That's why I put call to action. So what's at that point, you would basically say this is what it's good for, and this is why we're talking about it and why we're a good solution for this problem or whatever. And so it takes a little practice to get comfortable, but even there in just a minute, I was able to kind of roughly stumble through it there off the top of my head. And I haven't looked at any pages on bee control in a long while. So you can imagine that if you're looking at a source, or you're familiar with the niche or whatever, then it's even easier. It's a lot easier to do it that way. And if you have it in another monitor or in another window, you can just be looking at your source, high authority source, and go, okay, what is B control? What are the top 5 B control methods or whatever, right? Okay, top 5 B control methods. Clickety clackety clickety clackety bam. Okay, who needs it and why? B control. This B control method is for this person. This B control method is for this person. This B control method is for this person. When is it needed? This B control method is needed in this situation, this situation, this situation. So you see, it's actually really easy when you break it down. So let's move on here. As you can see, I've got images below the articles, and you can do it below the article section. You can do it in between the H tag and the article. I just put it there. It's I probably do it in between the title and the article more frequently than otherwise, but I do like the line break too, so it just depends. I kind of do both, but as I say in this section here, you don't have to include images. It just improves the visual aesthetic, and if your images have title and alt text, then they have the potential rank in the Google Images section also, and possibly in Pinterest and places like that, because Pinterest is a image index, search engine index. And so your sources, so like I said here, one source link per keyword. So as you're going down the keyword list, it's ideal to just do one source per keyword, and you'll save yourself a lot of time. I've tried it different ways, trying to combine different information, but it's a waste of time. This is the most time-consuming aspect of any money article writing project, is finding authoritative sources that you're comfortable linking to, that you feel have accurate information, and that you feel you can sort of not spin with a program, but you can kind of reword the information for your own original content purposes, right? So it's better to just find one link per keyword and not waste any more time than that. So you're going to be going between Google and your document, and it's probably even better to do it, to lay out your keywords and to throw down your links first, just to get in the habit of doing that. I kind of just go, and a lot of what I've been doing is, there's not so much need for me to do a lot of static content as much as there is for me personally. I like to do more creative because I can get a lot out there a lot more quickly. So anyways, you can use this system yourself. You can hand this system to a VA, and you can even hand a part of it to other article writing companies if you want to kind of have them create the initial base content and then go back and edit it, right? And so what I'll do in that case is, a lot of the times I'll just send them the keywords, and then I'll request that they write a paragraph on each keyword. And then from there, I will have an editor, break it down if I do it that way. So this video is really just supposed to be about the money article writing template, and I'll cover the other things in other videos. But to summarize, you can come to File and make a copy of this template, or you can copy it yourself. And for each H tag, you're just going to establish a keyword that is sort of in the same vein as your H1 money keyword. And then from there, you'll find 5 sources, and you'll use those sources to write a paragraph flexibly using this system, where you're writing a sentence on what this keyword is about, you're writing a sentence on who needs it and why, and so on and so forth. And so when you're answering these questions and you're keeping it concise, then it's formulaic writing rather than, man, I don't even know where to begin, where to end, how to proceed. With this is a battle plan for every single money article that you could possibly write. And so it's extremely convenient. It creates a high quality level article, and unique pretty much 100% of the time. I mean, relative, you get the idea. So I'm pretty excited about it. I hope that you guys get some sort of benefit from it. And I'll catch you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.